Let the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, my Lord, my strength, my Redeemer. Please be seated. I'm going to try this a little different than normal. I don't usually preach from down here. But today's gospel is one where you just want to be close. I was going to do a Lectio Divina on today's gospel. When I meditated on it myself, I couldn't help but imagine what it must have been like to be there. There are some gospel passages that feel locked in ancient history. Sandals, stone streets, the Jordan River running through a land most of us have never seen. But then there's moments like what happened in John's gospel today, where the story feels alive enough to lift its feet and cross centuries and continents and plant itself right here in the Grand Valley. Because God's call has never belonged to only the past. It keeps showing up in the world we actually live in. The places where we work, rest, wander, wonder. And sometimes, if we pay attention, we can see Jesus not just back then, but right here, right now, walking the very ground we call home. So when I read this gospel, I couldn't help but imagine John the Baptist standing on the Colorado River behind Dinosaur Hill. The morning air is crisp, the kind that fills your lungs with cottonwood and river silt. The kind that has fog that rises slowly off the water like prayer. John is there in his rolled up jeans and battered river sandals. He's not wearing camel hair this time. Maybe he's wearing an old Carhartt coat that's seen too many campfires. He's baptizing folks who wander down to the water looking for a fresh start. Maybe a ranch hand or a nurse just finishing her night shift at community hospital. A teenager aching for a sense of direction. Maybe someone who slept really rough last night, hoping grace hasn't forgotten them. And suddenly, John looks up. Water's still dripping from his elbows, and his face changes. It lights up like the sunrise breaking onto the monument. And he points and whispers, because wonder always lowers its voice. Behold, look there, that's him. The one who takes away the sin of the world. Now picture Jesus walking up the river trail, not in flowing robes, but in hiking boots that have logged a lot of miles. Jeans mud splashed from crossing side streams, a flannel shirt that smells faintly of juniper smoke from last night's campfire, a backpack slung over one shoulder, heavy with stories of people he's listened to, prayers he's carried, and tears that he's honored. His hair is wind-tossed, his face sun-browned. Priest, not by age but compassion, lines carved by laughter shared, and grief carried alongside the broken heart. And his eyes, the warm, green, brown, blue of the river at midday, see everything in you and somehow love you all the more for it. Two of John's friends see Jesus walking by and begin to follow him, awkward and unsure, as any of us might. If holiness were to suddenly stroll onto the river trail ahead of us. Jesus hears their footsteps and turns and smiles a gentle, road-worn river traveler smile. And he asks the question every human heart wants and waits to hear. What are you looking for? Not, what did you get wrong? How strong is your faith? Do you have your life together? No. Jesus begins with desire. Tell me what aches in you. Tell me what you hope for. Tell me the name you are longing for. Name your longing. They stammer out, Rabbi, teacher, where are you staying? And Jesus speaks the most life-changing invitation in the entire gospel. Come see. Come walk the river with me. Come watch the world wake up again. Come sit by my fire tonight and dream of what's possible. Come bring your doubts, your wounds, your unfinished self. Come as you are, no cleanup required, and I'll make room for you. Maybe he led them to a quiet stone bank where driftwood collects after the spring runoff. Maybe they spent the whole day there, skipping rocks, talking, laughing, falling into long silences that felt like healing, resting in a love that whispered, you belong. By sundown, they knew this wasn't just a teacher. This was home. Andrew runs up the trail toward town, heart pounding, eyes bright, and calling for his brother Simon. But Jesus, when he meets Simon, won't let Simon stay Simon. Because that's what happens when love happens. Love rarely leaves us unchanged. Jesus looks at him and sees not the fisherman he's been, but the disciple he will become, and speaks a new name. Peter, the rock. Because that's what love does. It calls us. It renames us. It awakens what God planted in us long before we dared to dream it. And that's what the call is for us today. This gospel's not a memory. It's a mirror held up to our own lives. Jesus still walks the river paths behind Dinosaur Hill. He still shows up in coffee shops and classrooms, in food pantries and hospital rooms, along with among the housed and the unhoused, with the grieving and the laughing, with the lonely, the tired, and the hungry for hope. Every day, with dusty boots and open heart, he turns to us and asks, what are you looking for? If the answer is hope, purpose, healing, belonging, meaning, forgiveness, love, he smiles that same river sunrise smile and says, come and see. Walk with me. Let me teach your heart its true name. Let me call out your gifts. Let me show you how God sees you. Let me turn you into someone who goes back to town, breathless with grace, saying, I've found him. Come and see. Because once love finds us, we become love for others. So may we go where Jesus walks, down dusty trails with grace, along river banks echoing with calling. into the world where people are longing for someone to look at them the way Jesus does, with recognition, with dignity, with the promise of a name only God can give. Friends, this morning, may you hear Him speak to your heart. Come, see. Amen.